Hi, I'm John Collins, the paper airplane guy. I've had a video on YouTube for a little while now, and one of the airplanes on that video that gets a lot of comments is this plane, the Boomerang Plane. And a lot of folks want to learn how to make that, so that's what I'm going to do, show you how to make the Boomerang Plane. We start by folding the page in half. I like to line up one corner and then pivot the other corner around so that it matches up. And then I sweep out from the center both ways, and that makes a nice straight crease right across the page. Now we're going to find the halfway point in the creased edge here, and we just move one corner toward the other corner on the creased side and make a pinch fold. And now we're going to find the 1/4 mark halfway between our pinch fold and this corner by just moving the corner to the pinch and making a new pinch. And now we're ready to make the crease that goes from the pinch to this corner up here. It's going to run this way and just go from our pinch mark right to this corner. We're going to fold this creased corner is the corner we're going to be moving. This next move will be a new move for folks who don't know much about origami. This is called a squash fold, and what we're going to do is lift up this whole flap and squash it. And the way we do that is we open it up as we lift it, and then we watch this crease right here, and we want to line it up with this edge going right here. So that's a squash fold. What we've done is squash this flap that used to be like this. We lift it up and squash it flat. And if this crease is just to the inside, just to this side, to the outside, this edge, if this crease is just to the outside of this edge right here, that's a good thing, because we're going to flip it over and follow this crease right here and fold this half of the squash fold this direction. Now we're going to, one at a time, we're going to use these corners here and we're going to put them inside these pockets that we've created. See that pocket right there? That happened because we squash folded it. So we've got a pocket here on this side and a pocket here on this side because of our squash fold, and we're going to put both of these corners in the pocket. Now if you bend a corner over, you'll see that it's too wide to fit in there. It doesn't quite fit. So we're going to narrow the corner in order to get it to fit. That's how we fit it in there. So what you want to do is make a crease first to kind of set our corner in place, and you're going to leave just a little space at the bottom of the pocket, and this edge will move just to the inside of the pocket here. You'll put it just on the inside of the pocket to give yourself room to put it in there once we get it narrowed. So we move it down and make a crease. And we can flip it over and do the same thing. Okay, now we've got these corners folded down. They're almost ready to tuck into the pocket. So here's how we're going to do that. We're going to narrow it by holding this up. We're going to lift up this flap here, and here's a way to sort of create a guideline for yourself. Take your thumbnail and kind of follow that pocket. That's the layer that's just underneath. You see you'll create a little crease there to kind of follow. That's just a rough guideline. You'll really want to hit the corner when you actually make the crease. So now we'll just move this guy up and kind of look underneath here and follow along the edge of the pocket as we go. So it's a crease that starts down at this corner and sweeps all the way up there. And now you've got kind of an ugly looking mess here. You've got a lot of layers kind of bending and nothing's flat. This is a really odd thing to do in origami, is have everything sort of up in the air like this. But now it's going to all start to make sense. Now this is narrow enough to fit into the pocket, so we're just going to bend it over and put it into the pocket there. And once we get it into the pocket, didn't want to move in there cleanly. Let's try it one more time. Into the pocket. Now it's in there cleanly, and now what we're going to do is make a crease that goes from up here. I'll spin this around. It goes from up here, this corner, and goes across like that. Here, let me flip it back over. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move this layer down, and the limit is going to be this and this, and then we're just going to sweep it out. Now that's a weird fold. But it's to move the center of gravity in a really specific place and to hold the airplane together. That's why we're doing it that way. Let me flip it over into the other side. We're going to, once again, we're going to follow the pocket. Narrowing the corner. Putting it into the pocket. and then flattening it out. And the rest of this plane is not too difficult. It's just a matter of following some guidelines here. Now the next crease is going to go from this back corner to this front corner here where we just made the pocket, and we're just going to lift up that corner. This is to spread the wings back out to give us a little more high aspect ratio look on the wings. Okay? You flip it over and do this one. And now we're going to do something really interesting. We're in fact going to squash fold the entire aircraft here. And this is the edge that we're going to squash. So we start to open up the airplane and move that center fold right down to the main center crease. So that's directly upside down. This is the nose of the plane now. So we started like this. All right, here we are like this. We're going to open up this crease, this main center crease, so that it's eventually going to be flat, and push this part down as we go and line everything up so that we're right on the center crease here, these two corners here. You're going to line them up carefully on the center and then finish your squash. And at this point, it's a good idea to do what's called a sweeping motion. These guys are bubbling up a little bit, so you can just sweep them out one at a time just like that. So your airplane will be nice and flat. Now we're going to move the center of gravity just a little bit by bending the nose straight back using these two corners right here as the limits. So, and we're almost finished here. Now we're going to do a valley fold here, folding the plane in half. Getting close. And now we're going to fold, see this layer right here, if I move my hand, this corner right here, we're going to fold just a little bit below that to make our fuselage crease. The fuselage crease is going to go straight across here, parallel with the main center crease. And we just fold straight down there. Flip over, fold the other side. And now we're going to make winglets. Winglets are just going to fold these little corners straight up. I'll start on the side that we've always been starting on here. The winglets should be parallel with this main wing crease. And if you want it to circle tighter, you can tilt it down a little bit so that they're adding a little bit of up elevator if you want a tighter circle on your boomerang. And that is the finished boomerang plane. Now, a couple things will make this airplane return to you better. I like to run my finger right over this maximum creased edge to get a little better negative dihedral angle. I'll explain negative dihedral angle in just a second here. But you want your wings to droop over, okay? You want to make sure the plane is symmetrical. One side of the plane should look the same as the other side of the plane. Taking a good look there, and a good look there. And now, if I've done this correctly, my airplane should be able to boomerang right back to me. I'm going to throw it just off screen that way a little bit, and here it comes right back. One more time. It's coming right back. Now, why does it do that? The big question is why this boomerang plane actually boomerangs. And it's a little bit of a trick. And what you're using is something called dihedral angle. Now notice when this plane flops open in flight, it's flying about like that. And the wings are drooping over in flight. As opposed to this kind of a plane, a regular dart, the wings are pointed up as they leave the body of the plane. So what happens is that the positive dihedral angle acts this way. When the wing rocks over, this downhill wing gets a little added angle of attack, and it flops the plane back over, and it keeps the plane flying straight. With the negative dihedral angle, you defeat that effect. So when I throw it in a banked corner, throw it in a bank turn, it stays in a bank turn, and because the center of gravity is behind the center of lift in this plane, it just circles right back. In fact, it's climbing right back, and it appears to go in a circle because it's climbing. This plane will circle right or left or do a loop. And that's the boomerang plane.